Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with My Hero Academia Season 4. We are on episode 10, and I hope everybody had a very good Christmas and New Year as well. I know it's a bit late, but this is the first sort of video that I've been recording that would come out around, like, just after New Year. The only other ones were Hunter x Hunter, and because I'm so far ahead, those won't come out until, like, later on in the year, so I'll just get that out of the way now. But yeah, I hope you did have a really good Christmas and New Year. I sure did as well. And with that being said, this year, I'm going to really push to try and get back to doing this full-time, if possible. So if you will... If you do want to support me, then that'd be very much appreciated. Obviously, the link to my Patreon is in the description below, and then I can get back to giving more content out to you guys more frequently, like I did back in 2018. 2019 was a bit of a slow year, but let's see if I can get back to doing this full time and getting more content out for you guys, more reactions, more shows, all of that good stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about other than the fact that My Hero Academia, the dub, took a sort of week hiatus. So now, instead of coming out the same time, like the same day the sub would, it's actually a week later. So today you'll be getting not only this episode but also episode 11 as well. And then we will continue on Saturday with episode 12. So yeah, it's going to be 3 episodes in a very short space of time. So exciting times. Okay, so last episode we had another episode that was dedicated to Kirishima, which was really cool because he's definitely up there and like some of my favorite characters right now. And yeah, last episode was a really cool one, especially Fat Gum as well. Like that whole absorbing all of the sort of damage that he took into his fat and then releasing that into power, and now he's just this skinny dude. That's crazy. I mean, you've got to assume that he's got to sort of build all of that back up then, surely. Which means he's just going to just eat garbage. You know what I mean? Just eat like a ton of shit to get back up there. Because at the moment, I don't know... I mean, he probably has some, like, combat prowess aside from just, being fat, and that's how he, he just absorbs everything. He's got to have something, but he's clearly... Now that he's released all of that sort of fat into a punch, he's got none left. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what the whole episode was based around. We've still got, obviously, Deku and some of the other group, like Aizawa and whatnot. Rocklock's there. We also have... Who else? Night Eye is up there. And Mirio is up ahead, right? So yeah, I guess we'll probably get back to the group. It's like one of those things where like you keep like heading on, and then they come up against like an opponent, and then one drops out. Lets the main group go on ahead, and all of that until they get up to Overhaul. So yeah, I'm guessing that's probably what's going to happen this episode. But yeah, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into episode 10 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 10. Right, well, there was a lot there. There was a lot there, and I think the most interesting part about that episode was actually the League of Villains. Now, I know that, the title of the episode was Temp Squad, which was obviously referring to Himiko and Twice. But, like, not even just them two, but the League of Villains as a whole, because I feel like for a while now, they've been sort of... It's tough to kind of nail them down, but I think because Shigaraki has kind of been, from the beginning when they invaded the whatchamacallit, basically like the first real attack that the students had to go up against, right? I just can't remember what the fuck it's called. But yeah, since then Shigaraki's been, he was, hoisted up as the main villain of the show, and kind of like the opposite to Deku, right? And he would be what All for One was to All Might. And sort of since then, I think it's such an interesting take on having a villain that is not already like sort of implemented as a like a top tier villain, but instead have him grow alongside like Deku and the heroes. Like, so the League of Villains and the heroes that we're growing up with in UA are like, you know, they're rising sort of together at the same time. And so the way that the story ends up working is since then it's kind of been offshoots of what's been going on. I suppose the Vanguard Action Squad is, you know, they came up and you know, but I feel like they weren't truly part of the League of Villains at that point because they were relatively new to the squad, right? They'd come in because of Stain and all of that stuff. So it's easy to sort of see them as like kind of like, oh well, they came in at the very beginning because of different alternative reasons. Whereas now they are, it's almost like I get like a very family orientated sort of group between them, which I really like. And since they've now cemented that, it makes the show so much better when you can have the like an enemy group or opponent or whatever like have meaning behind them and not just a group that is just villainous for the sake of being villainous. You know, I guess I mean Twice is my favorite of the group. Out of everybody of the League of Villains, Twice is my favorite. I feel like he's the most fleshed out. You know, and we know more about him than we do about any of the group. Even Shigaraki, I would say. Like, I mean, we've got some backstory on Shigaraki, but I feel like because it's almost like he was a clean slate from a point because he was just basically, you know, because he was under the influence of All for One for such a long time because he was taken as a kid. I feel like there was nothing to really set apart Shigaraki, other than the fact is like we know that he's growing as a character because, you know, at the very beginning in season 1 he was called like basically a child, right? And that's how he acted. Whereas now he's sort of growing and maturing and becoming more experienced in things, and this is a great sort of example of that, like now lending out some of his you know, own you know, I don't really want to say pawns, but like it's, you know, some of his own, he's lending them out to the Hoseikai, you know, under the pretense that it's really for help, when in reality it's kind of to the to the betterment of the League of Villains themselves. Now, Overhaul does seem like, you know, a kind of smart guy, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's already, you know, thought that this might be the case. But we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. I mean, the very end there is interesting. You know, they basically had figured out they were getting, you know, they were trying to get Mimic pissed. They were doing it on purpose. And Himiko was talking about a reward, and I'm not sure really what the reward is specifically. I don't know. I guess what, getting their own back for what happened with Magna and whatnot, and Mr. Compress. I guess because from what I gathered from, you know, what they said at the end, the quote being like, you know, like it seemed like they were willing to call a truce or team up temporarily with the heroes, the likes of Aizawa and Midoriya, to help, you know, to basically assist them in getting to Overhaul. Now, whether or not this is even going to happen, I don't know. It could be a second-hand thing. Like, it might not be a thing of them, like, you know, Twice and Himiko going, oh, by the way, we'll help you out kind of thing. Let's go, as opposed, like, I don't know. It could be just like a second-hand thing that Midoriya and Aizawa don't know what's going on with the League of Villains and everything like that, but you know, like sort of like behind their backs, like using the heroes as a way to get to the Hoseikai. So it's kind of like a truce in their head. I'm trying to think of like ways that they could really help, and I don't know. I can't see them standing side by side and helping them out. But I don't know. Maybe because they're getting, you know, Mimic's going fucking mental right now. He literally burst a blood vessel. That's how crazy he went. He opened up 2 holes. Midoriya and Aizawa's going down one. Twice and Himiko going down the other. So, I mean, the way that it was shot, you saw them both, and like, you know, League of Villains, like, you know, the Temp squad were coming down this way, Midoriya and Aizawa were coming down the other way. So it's, I mean, surely it's okay to assume that they are going to the same place. Now, so if it becomes a situation where they have to help each other out, like they have to, otherwise there's no hope, then I guess that would be the only reason why they would stand side by side and help each other. And then I guess that would be the case. It's interesting though. I'm interested to see what comes of that. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Carrying on with the League of Villains, when it said like a few days ago, and they were in some sort of hideout or whatever, how is where'd I put it? Spinner and Dabby there? I'm sure I didn't miss anything, and I'm sure the last time we saw them was the All for One versus All Might fight, right? It was just before that. They got knocked out. So I don't know. I guess they got away. I know at that point there was Nomu's being headed out, so I don't know. I suppose they worked as some sort of distraction, and enough of a distraction to get, like, you know, so Darby and Spinner could get away. The only thing is though, I'm sure Darby got knocked out, right? So I don't think Spinner did. I think he just got caught up in whatchamacallit, the like a chain prison, right? But then that guy turned up. What's his name? The like a chain prison dude. Because he came later, right, to help out with the, you know, when All for One and All Might were fighting, right? So why would he go there and completely leave Darby and Spinner and that whole thing? Have we missed something? Were they supposed to be there? I don't know. It caught me off guard because I was like, hold on, I'm sure they're not supposed to be there because they were captured, right? But then again, Kurogiri was as well, and Shigaraki said that he's on his own mission right now. So that's interesting. Here's the thing as well: we haven't seen Gran Torino in a bit, and he said that he wasn't, like, they said that he wasn't involved in the mission against the Hisaikai, and he was doing something else, and he was on his own mission. To deal with the League of Villains, right? So I assume that when we eventually move away from what's going on here and more towards like what Kurogiri's doing, I imagine the Gran Torino's involved somewhere with that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Is there anything else League of Villains wise that I really need to talk about? I love the fact twice like calling Himiko wifey. That's great. I love that. If I remember on, that's just what I'm going to call Himiko from now on, I think. Just wifey. That's great. I love that. What was with the quote that she said it like midway through, like near the mid card, where she said that, like, I'm glad I came. Like, I know what it means, but I know what it means. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's all for the League of Villains. But yeah, I like the direction that they're going in. I like the whole family vibe that they've got going on with that crew now. It's similar to like Hunter x Hunter with the Phantom Troop. Like I'm starting to get that kind of feeling. So that's always a good thing. So yeah, we'll see what becomes of that. Yeah, we had Mr. Compress as well with a new sad mask. Bless him. That's great. I wonder if his. I guess not. I guess it's just a costume. But it would have been funny if the mask was like interchangeable, like, because when I say his mask, it kind of reminds me of like Watchmen kind of thing, you know, where like, you know, the mask like ever changing kind of thing. And I wonder if that's like you know, if it's something similar to that or whatever. But yeah, he's got a sad mask because obviously he's lost an arm. Bless him. I mean, here's the thing: why didn't they like? Surely Overhaul could have gotten his arm back, right? So why didn't he do that? If they were supposedly like in some sort of truce and they're actually working together, why didn't Overhaul offer to give him his arm back? Because he could do that, right? I mean, he's killed Rapper 5 times and brought him back. Also, that kind of, I'm sure that does give my theory credence. So a few episodes back, I said, I was wondering where the boss was, right? Like the old dude that was, it's basically Overhaul's father, I'm assuming, that was in the bed, right? And he was ill. one dude said that that was to do with Overhaul, so I think Overhaul's done something to fucking make him ill somehow. With whether it's with his quirk or not or whatever. I think I said something like, could he have disassembled just his immune system and made him sick that way? I don't know. But I basically said that like, to what limit could he use his quirk? Like, could he get down somebody to a molecule and then bring them all back from that one molecule? Or like, you know, a finger. Even that, you know, if he disassembled everything but a finger of the person, then he could reassemble them from that. I don't know, because my question was, where is the boss? Like, where is the father in relation to everything else? Because for some reason, where he was in the building, it didn't seem like the underground portion. It seemed like he was in the actual building up top. And you know, Overhaul isn't like, you know, wheeling them through the underground. So I'm just guessing. I'm trying to guess like where he is and if he's even taking them with him. But we'll see. I mean, Overhaul does know that the others don't really respect him as much as the actual, you know, the previous head. And that's why before I was saying that, you know, he's kind of smart and he does have a head on his shoulders. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Rapper. I like him. He's a bit much. Like, you know, the whole thing of, like, it's clearly something doesn't just tick with him. With the whole, like what don't you understand? Like, we can't just have death matches in the fucking, you know, in public and, you know, not in a cage. He doesn't seem to get that. But I like the fact that he respects those that can hang with him, you know, and that he shows respect to them as well. Especially calling Kirishima a man, and that was definitely a prominent thing. And it hits right here as well, because Kirishima's always, like, the thing with him is he's always bringing up the manly thing, right? And he wants to be manly and everything like that. And I mean, from somebody who we only met, like, last episode, it's good to, like, kind of get his, you know, like, his acceptance of that. It's just cool, you know? And even, like, Fatgum said it, it's, like, not only of us, but the enemy as well, which is something cute, which is huge. But yeah, I mean, I like that part of Rapper. I also like his sort of independence, that he doesn't really hold any real allegiance to the Hisaikai other than he was beaten entirely by Overhaul. Now, the question is I don't think he holds any allegiance to Overhaul either, which makes me think that the only reason why he's there is that he is hoping to get another match with Overhaul where he actually wins. Because it seems like that's the only thing that Rapper really cares about. You know? And I mean, that's the thing as well. When Fatgum was in there and he was saying that, you know, yep, like, you know, he beat Rapper 5 times and look at how Rapper, like, you know, how Rapper fights. But it's, when Fatgum's like, yeah, his master's strong, I don't like that word being associated with Overhaul, like strong, because I just feel like his quirk is to just touch somebody and disassemble them. I don't know if strong is the correct word for that, you know? It feels wrong to say that he's strong. Nice rhymes. Because, you know, with Rapper's quirk, he has to get in close anyway. He can't fight from back here, so he can't fight at a distance. So he has to get in close. So he's automatically at a disadvantage, you know? So basically, you would have to just dodge every single attack if you was to beat him. So yeah, it's definitely interesting though, and I do like Rapper, even though he's like, this guy, there's something that just doesn't tick with him about like not understanding the whole thing of like, you can't just have death matches with everybody, you know. But yeah, I do like his independence, that he doesn't care about the Hisaikai or anything about, you know. It's good. Rocklock. Right, so we got his quirk sort of like overview, and it said to touch to lock it in place. Right now, I'm positive when we first watched him use his powers, he threw like a plank of wood between some buildings and locked it in place without touching it. I'm positive that was the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that he wasn't touching that block of wood when he froze it in place that first time, right? I don't know what episode that was, episode 6 or something. So it was either that episode 7. I think it was 6 though. I could be wrong. But yeah, and then there's a limit to the surface area, which what kind of limit? Because I'm sure he just locked down the whole fucking, like, corridor, right? Like, pretty much, like, pretty far. So, he can do quite a bit. And then also it can be overcome if somebody... I mean, I don't know to real, like, what can overcome it. Mimic could have, I guess, but it didn't seem like he did because he used somewhere else to, you know, to... Because Rocklot said, like, watch out for the places that I didn't lock. You know, so it's not like Mimic overcame Rocklot's power. He just, you know, came from elsewhere kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, they were blocked off. And then Himiko came out of nowhere. Ended up being a clone. By the way, Rocklot took that fucking knife to the hand like a boss. Like, he just... And he didn't even budge either. And, like, nothing phased him about that, which is fucking pretty cool. I know that he's like... He's a bit of a dick. Like, he's a bit, you know... And he's quick to throw out blame, I think. You know, so he can't act like a bit of a dick, but, I mean... Listen, you gotta give him props for that. He took a knife to the hand, didn't even wince, and straight up locked her in place. If that was actually Himiko, that would have been... Damn, you know? But, yeah, of course, it just caught him off guard because it was a clone instead. And then she came up behind him, right in the back, man. Like, I don't know... The only thing is, I feel like Himiko could have easily fucking killed him there. Like, you would think that she... Because her whole thing with knives and stuff and wanting to cut people, she would know, like, where to cut. You know? Jugular. In the fucking... You know, like, she would know where the heart was. Puncture a lung. Something. But I don't... It seemed like she was like... He got him, like... You know, where no vital organs was. Because I was thinking, he's got to be dead. Like, there's no way. There's no way, you know? But it seems like he's alright, because I was always like, you know, go look after him, right? So, he must be alright. And then, when obviously Midoriya and Aizawa were in there, Aizawa figuring out that, you know, why is there a knife? A knife? You know? Rocklock doesn't use a knife, so it must be an imposter. And then he grabbed a hold of her with these like, I don't even know what you call them. They're like bandages, but like obviously they're not, aren't they? But pulled her towards him, and she's so nimble. She was able to you know, like sort of like grab a hold of it and maneuver over the top of Aizawa and get a hit on him. I mean, that's nuts. I didn't think she was that capable. But apparently she is, you know? Like, if there was anybody in that group that I was like, you know, he's going to be fine, it would have been Aizawa, you know? I feel like he's the most experienced in terms of, like, going up against every... You know, considering the fact that in episode 10 of season 1, he took on how many people, you know? But, yeah, I mean, it just caught me off guard how capable Himiko actually is. Or wifey, I should say. Yeah, so there's that. Jesus. Right, so what else? What else we got? I've got here, yeah, twice the whole human speech as well, which is interesting. I was gonna... Thought I didn't have anything left for the League of Villains, but apparently I do. But yeah, the whole twice is a human thing. You know, back to the whole, like, the family vibe, the League of Villains and everything, making them more sort of likeable. You know, for a split second, that scene was interesting, especially from Shigaraki as well, when he took off the hand. Because in that environment, when there's nobody else there, it's just them, like that group, that sort of family that they have, that even Shigaraki, considering how fucked up his face is, actually had a more humanizing face. Anytime we've actually seen his face, it's been very, like, you know, like, it's been very visceral to look at, I feel like, and it's that on purpose, like, to make him look evil. Whereas in this, it was, even though, like, you know, he's got that, you know, he needs, like, fucking that, you know, chapstick and everything, and you know, like, he's got those, like, red eyes, bloodshot, whatever. That, it looked, like, his face looked, it was drawn more friendly, you know? And it's interesting. I like the fact that they showed that it's a face that he wouldn't show anybody else, you know? So that was really cool. And I think that's what really turned Himiko and Twice, like, over and, like, understood and realized that he's not, like, betraying them. He's not turning his back on them. He's doing this for all of us. kind of thing, you know. And I think that's what really, you know, got to them, because they were so shocked at seeing his face, even though, you know, they've seen his face before, but I think it was just a shock of seeing like that look of, you know, like compassion to what he considered his sort of family at this point, you know. So that was really cool. It was nice to see. What else? Yeah, so Overhaul teaching shogi to Shigaraki. I said during the reaction as well, like, you know, because Overhaul said, take this as a learning experience. I'm sure, like, what All for One said that to him as well. You know, so he does get that quite a lot, I feel like. And, you know, it goes with the whole thing of him becoming more experienced and learning, through, like, you know, from the beginning, him growing up alongside the heroes and everything like that as well. So, yeah, he does get that a lot. Night Eye, that was really cool seeing him fight, you know, without his sort of foresight. And I love the explanation that he used the whole thing of him using foresight before to sort of determine how others fight, because he's gotten all of this sort of knowledge and like, you know, past experience from others using foresight to fight others and everything like that, that he determined that the probability of how that clone would have attacked, you know, to basically get one over on him. So not even using foresight, he's able to kind of use foresight in a way. It's great. I love that. And then obviously he uses the seal. Of course he would use seals. You know, what, 5 kilograms? Is that what he said? I was so confused for a second. I was like, how is he that powerful? You know? But fuck it, he did it. It was great. What else? Yeah, so Midoriya recognizing Himiko's ability as well at that point. You know, it's, of course, well, everything was just so fast. I completely forgot that. Yeah, he had noticed that before, right? Because in the exam thing that they were having, I forgot that he was actually privy to that before, and that it hasn't really been confirmed if Midoriya realizes that it must be the same person, but he's got to know at some point, right? He's got to know. Of course, like, considering the situation that they're in, there's not really a lot of time to sit and think. But, you know, the fact is he came up with that and he realized it on the spot. So, you know, he's got to understand that, you know, there was definitely something with that there. And yeah. What else? Midoriya, yeah, being the only one that can break through as well. Rocklock saying, like, it would have been nice to have, you know, Kirishima here. And yeah, it made it clear to me that Midoriya now is the only one that can ever, like, break through the walls and stuff. You know, and that's all they have. And obviously you see him, like, losing stamina and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. Like, depending on how this goes, Tamaki said to Midoriya that he needs to go and help Mirio. And if he's fucking, you know, expending all of this energy on trying to get through walls and shit, like, how much is he really going to have left? We'll have to see. I mean, right now he's heading downwards. You know, possibly meeting up with the Temp squad. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah. I mean, I don't think I have anything else. But yeah, I mean, that was definitely an interesting episode for the League of Villains specifically. And I like that. I like it when shows can humanize and, you know, get you to sort of understand the villain's point of view, because it just makes everything so much more meaningful. You know, especially when it'll get to a point where they're going up against the League of Villains, like, for real again, you know, and it's going to be, you know, it makes it so much more meaningful, especially the fights as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. But that is all I've got for this episode. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. I'm trying to get back to doing this full time this year, so if you do want to help me out, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month. Gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. So, you know, you can go up, like, and enjoy that. There's loads of fucking episodes there that you can catch up on. So yeah, enjoy that. There's also $10 there for full length. That doesn't matter for Hunter x Hunter. But, you know, if you do want to watch, like, you know, My Hero Academia in full length, then you will need that. So there's that there. There's also other tiers where you can pay to have me react to a show. So if you want me to react to a certain show, then you can do and see what they offer as well. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.